What's going on, guys? Matt at Middleton Motorsports here. So today up on the dyno, we got an F-150. Haven't seen a lot of these on the dyno, but actually this is one of our Outlaw packages. So we're gonna talk about this a little bit. Let's walk up here and take a look at what we got. So I'll kind of walk around this first. So Outlaw packages is something that we came up with here at Middleton Motorsports, and we build these trucks in-house. We have a couple different versions of them. And I won't get into detail about every version. You can go to our website and we have a complete explanation of all the different versions of these we build. This truck here is our sleeper package. So the sleeper package, we leave the appearance on the outside of the truck pretty stock looking. Obviously he's still got the steel wheels. This particular truck is owned by a friend of mine, and he wanted the sleeper look. So you can see it's still got, this truck still has the stock muffler and tailpipe, stock steelies. Obviously the regular cab short bed is the popular option for these F-150s. This one is four-wheel drive, so it does leave on the street really well. We'll pop up here and take a look under the hood. So this one has which is what most of our Outlaws are, is the Ford Performance Whipple. So we've been using this because Ford Performance actually will carry and cover the powertrain warranty with this supercharger installed. So this is very similar to like a stage 1 Whipple for a Coyote, like a Mustang or another other F-150s. There are some upgrades available for, that we can offer, that they do void the Ford warranty, the powertrain warranty. But we have aftermarket warranties that we're working with right now to cover people that if they still want to have a warranty, because he bought this truck brand new and we did the conversion for him. So, and that's basically what we've been doing. We've been taking brand new 24s, and this truck is the sleeper package. Like I said, we have packages where we're just doing the suspension work, packages, the complete package, we're doing the blower, wheels, suspension, appearance, tint. We do all sorts of stuff with them. So this does have RideTech suspension, so you can tell obviously it's lowered quite a bit. I believe this truck is lowered 5 inches. So again, if you go on our website, we have all those details laid out. I think we lower the rear down quite a bit, like 5 or 6 inches, and the front gets lowered like 4 inches or 5 inches. Levels it out. This RideTech kit, we have a couple different options on the suspension, Cal-Trac and RideTech. They both offer, different arms, and the Cal-Trac has a different upright and spindle. But yeah, gets these trucks way down, gives them kind of that sport look. Obviously, the full package, like I was saying, we do wheels, we can do 20s, 22s, and there's other appearance options, blackout option, tint. But again, this is our sleeper, and so this is kind of that stock looking truck, and we'll get to power. We came up with these cool badges. That's our Outlaw badge, and we have this other Outlaw badge on the back. So you can see on the tailgate there, we put that, and I'll have to show you guys his license plate. I thought that's pretty funny. The other thing that this particular truck, and I wanted to talk about with this truck, is this is the first truck that we put long tube headers on. So with this particular truck, he's a drag racer and he wanted to do a little bit more. He still wanted the Ford Performance blower because he was kind of starting out, with the warranty in mind. But as we got the thing built and he took it to the drag strip, he's thinking, hey, I want to go a little further. So this actually does have, instead of the Ford Performance Whipple tune, it just has a straight up Whipple Stage 1 tune, which ups the speed limiter because he does drag race us at the track. So the Ford Performance limiter is down near stock at like 105 miles an hour. This is 135 miles an hour limiter. The Stage 2 kit has 145 mile an hour speed limiter, and those speed limiters are in place because of the tires. So, and I will backtrack and say also, this is a 2024. I cannot tune the 24s with HP Tuners or PCM Tech, the two softwares I use for Fords. They have not unlocked, and decoded, the encryption on the 24 PCMs yet. So basically, Whipple Obviously, Whipple and Ford Performance, they have a Ford engineer, calibration engineer that writes tunes for them using the Ford proprietary software. I don't have access to that, obviously, so I cannot tune the 24s. I can do the 23 and priors, but I cannot do the 24s. So we are at the mercy of what Whipple comes up with their Ford, their Ford Access. So that's why we're talking about Whipple tunes. I cannot do anything with these custom tuning. So, but I'll go back now. I'll get back to this. So the long tube header. So this is a long tube header off-road Y pipe system with the stock resonator and stock muffler. So I think it has an awesome sound. When you fire it up, it sounds stock, but once you get onto the throttle and it starts getting into boost, it opens up, and I might get blasted for this on the internet, but to me it sounds like a 4th gen F body, Camaro or Firebird. When you do long tubes on those cars, I think it sounds awesome. It sounds great. It has this great kind of it's like a real sporty V8 sound. You'll hear it on the pull. We'll do a dyno pull and we'll look at the graph. So I'll show you guys kind of what we got going on, and I'll talk about the tuning some more. So red is what we are making just with the Ford Performance blower. Blue is long tube headers. It's a pretty big jump. We did have a little bit of difference of octane between the two pulls, but the timing is very similar. I data logged when we did this truck back in October. I did do some data logs on it. I didn't do a video at the time because we were on a time crunch we had a track day. We rented a drag strip nearby, and that was the following day. We had this thing on the dyno that night, and I just didn't get a chance to make a video on it. So red is that October pull. Blue is what we just did. So pretty big jump in power. Some of that I'm attributing to a little bit of the octane. We had a little bit better fuel on the blue pull here with the headers. One of the big reasons he wanted to put headers on it too is just for longevity's sake and future proofing it, because he does want to do, when we can tune it, he does want to do a fuel system. He does want to put a smaller pulley on it. He does want to run it on E85 exclusively. We're going to put bigger injectors in it. So he kind of wanted to take that first step, and just since the headers are available, put them on there. And I've talked about these in the past. The ECUs on these Fords will adapt pretty well to changes in exhaust like that. So we had to do some pulls on it to get it to kind of learn back in. And to get the timing to learn in. It is adding a little bit of fuel, so that will have to be adjusted, but Whipple does work with us on stuff like this. So we're gonna get some revisions on it. One thing you may notice is what's going on up here. So again, and I'll go back, because I can't program it and I can't do anything with the calibration. There's a big timing pull right here that's going on. You can see even back when we just did the pulls right after we installed the kit on the Ford, or I take that back, on the Whipple tune, the Whipple Stage 1 tune, because we had the speed limiter upped so we could actually do dyno pulls. It's pulling 3, 4, sometimes I'm even seeing a 5-degree pull on this blue run I just did. I'm seeing about a 5-degree timing pull from here to here. So, and it's inherently just baked into the tune. It's not knock. It's not the knock sensors picking up any detonation or pre-ignition at all. It's just baked into the tune. The HDFX system is just shutting off, and it's just coming down to base timing, and the base timing is really low right here. It's about 13. So we're going from about 17 degrees of timing here to about 13 degrees of timing here. So we're losing about 40 horsepower right here. But it is what it is. I can't do anything about it right now. We've actually emailed Whipple the dyno graphs from before, and we're going to email them this new one. And I'm actually going to send them some of my logs from HB Tuners. They should be able to read those. They have their own proprietary stuff, but those guys are going to be able to read data log. And we've talked to them. They're aware of what's going on, and they have a fix for it. So they have a revision. So we can actually maybe see, a 620, 630 horsepower if we can wind this thing out and it doesn't drop the timing right there. So I'm kind of hoping they'll up the rev limiter. I'm comfortable on these engines. This is a Gen 4 Coyote. I'm comfortable 7,500 plus. So I don't know that they are, but I would love to see this thing going out 7,500, because I think we'd be nearing the 650 mark if we could rev it out a little higher. This truck did go a mid 11. I think it went 11.7 and 124, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it would be cool in the future to see it run 10s and maybe even 9s if we could get some more boost and better fuel in it and fuel system. But for now, this is kind of where we're at. We are seeing a gain with the headers, and it sounds 1,000 times better, I think, with the headers. So, and again, now he's able to, in the future, once we can tune these things, go farther with the truck, because we're obviously opening up the exhaust a little better. We did see, the other thing I'll talk, and we'll look at the data log. We did lose about a pound of boost. So on the red run here, we were seeing about 10 pounds near the top. Now we're seeing about 9 pounds up here. So gaining power and reducing boost is always a good thing. So I'm gonna set the camera down. We're gonna do one more pull on it. Truck's been sitting for about 15-20 minutes. It's a little chilly today outside. Shop's about 50 degrees right now. So hopefully you'll see a little bit more increase. I think that's probably about all we're gonna see, but who knows, maybe a little cooler blower. We'll see a few more horsepower, but we'll spin this thing up one more time, and then we'll take a look at some final numbers. Let's go take a look. Looks like we're on track to about make the same, but then that same timing pull that happened here at 63 happened at 6. So again, I don't have any control over that. It is what it is from Whipple. We were actually a little higher on the IATs. It was about 10 degrees higher from that blue run I did to this last one on the green. So it made a little bit less torque, but with these supercharged stuff, all those little variabilities are going to make differences in what we're reading on the dyno. So I was about 90, that pull I just did that you saw, I was about 90 degrees for the intake air temp, and the blue run I was about 80 degrees. So just having it sit for 20 minutes, it kind of heat soaked the blower a little bit. We were doing it's cooler in the shop, and I was doing some kind of more on and off with the throttle before. And I got the IATs a little bit lower, so that blue run there were a little cooler. But you can see up at the top here, it was very similar, and then we'll look at the log, and then it just dropped off. Again, the timing kind of drops off a cliff, and I could probably do 2-3 more pulls back to back, and we might be able to see this thing come back up. But I think we kind of got the gist of where we're at. We definitely picked up power. That's what we were kind of after. So, yeah, I mean, obviously the headers are doing something. If losing that pound of boost and gaining power is again always a good thing. So, and then in the future we can go farther with this truck. So we'll take a look at the data log there. Pull this key out so we're not dinging at us. So okay, so I wanted to get right here. So you can see. And you can see how the timing is kind of bounced around. So I'm referring to the timing line right here. And usually it takes a couple more wide open throttle pulls to kind of stabilize a little bit from startup. And the other couple pulls I did, I left the truck running in between pulls. So, but you can see how HDFX is adding timing. ECU is actually adding timing here, which is good because we got good octane in this truck. But you can see, again, right at that 6,000 mark, you can see how it just wants to drop. The timing wants to drop. So it's going from 16 to 12.6, 12.8. And that's where our power drop's happening because we're losing. Last video, I talked about timing and fuel and how on boosted stuff, on supercharged stuff, and how much of a difference the stuffs make. So I did a Camaro. That video might not be out yet, but you guys will probably see it eventually here. Probably when this video is out, you'll see it. So I talk about timing, and that's a flex fuel deal, and how much just a little bit of octane, how far it goes on these higher compression engines. So you lose a couple degrees of timing, it's a pretty big drop in power. You can lose 40-50 horsepower just from losing 3 degrees of timing. That's just the name of the game when you're talking octane limited stuff. You can also see how this Whipple tune drives pretty rich at the top. It's not too bad, but it's starting to get pretty rich, almost overly rich. So that combined with this timing pull is why we're seeing that drop in power at the top. So hopefully we'll get a revision from Whipple on this, and we will see a nice smooth power graph all the way to 7,000 and maybe even farther. I'd hope they'd be able to up the RPM, and they might just have to you know, I'm hitting the limiter right at 67,000. I mean, that's as far as I can take it. It's clipping the limiter, I'm letting off. So you might have heard it in the video where it kind of popped at the end. That was just touching the limiter, and it really pulls time. You can see it pulls the timing down to negative, way down to the negatives, and at the same time kind of shuts the throttle down to 40%, 30%. So those two combined, you get a little bit of a pop, and that's all she's got. So yeah, the tune, it is what it is. But again, really what we were after was seeing what these headers were going to do for us, and also to kind of talk about, because I haven't done a dyno video on our Outlaw packages yet, so I wanted to kind of talk about these, you know, so you guys can kind of see some other stuff that we're doing. This is these Outlaw trucks are very popular right now. We have a huge demand for them, and we are pumping them out as fast as we can. Me and Doug are always, one of us is always working on one, any time of the day, any day of the week. There's always one being built. So, and obviously, two of us were kind of, you know, going back and forth, but we always have one in the works. We always have one we're doing work to, whether it's me or him, and then we'll have other stuff come in, and we'll kind of jump back and forth. So, yeah, the demand is huge. So yeah, this obviously we're seeing a gain from the headers, which is what I kind of expected. You increase the flow, and you're going to make more horsepower. So, and again, the sound is just, I think, is incredible. Some of the other Outlaw packages we offer, some of the other options we offer, and I'll talk about Outlaws again, is actually stock factory exhaust and stock manifolds, cats, but a cat back. And we have some side pipe options where we have MBRP or Corsa. That tips are coming out right here that look really cool, especially when you got, you know, 20-inch, 22-inch wheels, black tips, black wheels. We've done a couple all blacked out trucks. Black wheels, tint, black exhaust tips. They look pretty cool, you know, in the regular cab short beds. So, so yeah, again, if you guys really want to know more details about these trucks, get on our website, and we have a full list of every option available and the basic 3 packages that we're kind of offering on them. Again, this is the Sleeper, which, you know, again, steel wheels. It's got the full suspension. This has the full-on RideTech suspension setup on it, which lowers it a bunch. It's got the blower. And we did a couple other touches, like I put a little Ford Performance spoiler on the top of the tailgate. But it's pretty stock looking, and especially when you start this thing up, it's super quiet. You probably kind of heard me just running it up through the gears at the start of the dyno video, or the start of the dyno. And it's unassuming, and then when I whack the throttle, it's like, whoa, that thing's got something in it. So, pretty cool deal. I think they're pretty cool and super popular, and we're building them like crazy. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about them a little bit, and you're gonna definitely in the future see more of these on the dyno, especially when I can start tuning on them with this specific PCM. Once we can get the 24 and ups tunable, then we're going to start offering, we're going to get into some aftermarket warranty stuff, and we're going to start offering our own Middleton Motorsports tunes as part of the Outlaw package, which then we can go further with, you know, we get into the stage 2 Gen 6 Whipples with the big throttle bodies, and then if you want to go E85 with a bigger fuel system and, you know, like a twin pump, we go to a twin pump hat. These F-150 pumps are pretty big from the factory, so there's some options where we can just add another pump. So you got 2 pumps in the hat, add a return line with a regulator. We can go to like a 1050 injector, and, you know, go to a 3.7 or a 3.6 pulley, basically what the 6 rib belt can hold, and then obviously there's 10 rib belt options, and just like any other, you know, any of the other Gen 3 Mustang stuff, we can do the same thing to these. The RPM capability is there with these engines. These Gen 4 Coyotes on the trucks have a belt drive oil pump, which have proven to be pretty decent in the high RPMs, unlike the other Coyotes, Mustang Coyotes that have the crank snout driven oil pump, where the harmonics from the superchargers at high RPMs can actually crack those oil pump gears, and that's a problem. Hasn't been a problem on this Gen 4 Coyote with the belt drive oil pump. These Gen 4 Coyotes also have a stronger block. If you get on the internet and look some stuff up, some of the engine guys have dissected these things, and these engines are another slight step above even a Gen 3 engine now in strength and components. So again, platform keeps growing, and we're growing with it. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for this video. Sound and power is what we picked up here with these headers. And again, I want to talk about and kind of introduce the Outlaw packages to the behind the tune videos, because I haven't done one yet, and I'm kind of excited. I know I'm kind of scattered about this video. There's a lot to cover, and we try not to make these videos too long, but you will see more of these, and obviously on our social media and some YouTube shorts and our Instagram, and you've seen, you know, Jim and those guys do videos on these trucks, on some of the other ones we built, you know, kind of skimming over what we do and the packages and stuff. So nice to finally see one up in the dyno, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Again, this truck did go in 11.7 before we put the headers on it, with that Whipple Stage 1 tune with just the mile an hour raised up, so we could, you know, actually go over 104 miles an hour, 105 miles an hour. And that was about that at 560 at the tire. You know, that was an all-wheel drive launch, a four-wheel drive launch. And that was pretty consistent that day at the track. We were at a drag strip, Great Lakes Dragway. It's about a 2-hour drive from us here in Madison. And that's probably our most visited track for drag strip. A lot of friends that I have race there, and there's a couple other 8th mile tracks that guys race at, and that's kind of what this truck was built for, was doing a lot of kind of the 8th mile stuff, and kind of, you know, a little bit of street screwing around. And but obviously, you know, these things are super popular. You see them all over the internet, from this to, you know, built engine, built tran, twin turbo, you know, 2,000 horsepower stuff. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. And again, if you want more information on the Outlaws, check out our website. We got a bunch of information on different packages and pricing. And that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later.